Very good morning, my dear students of class 12th. Yesterday, in your live class, you knew all about the chapter B. Wordsworth, written by V.S. Nepal, chapter number 10. Now, please open your book of Echoes at page number 116 and try to understand the whole story. Three beggars called punctually every day at the hospitable houses in Miguel Street. Three beggars called punctually, regularly, punctually, on time, every day at the hospitable houses in Miguel Street. At about 10, an Indian came in his dhoti and white jacket. At about 10. And we poured a tin of rice. We put a tin of rice into the sack he carried on his back. At 12, an old woman smoking a pipe came and she got a cent, currency. At 2, a blind man led by a boy called for his pin. Each and everyone was given something, whatever he or she needed. Sometimes we had a rogue, wicked person. One day a man called and said he was hungry. We gave him a meal. He asked for a cigarette and wouldn't go until we had lit it for him. That man never came again. This is all about at the hospitable houses in Miguel Street. Every day it happens. The strangest caller came one afternoon. He was peculiar type of man. The strangest caller came one afternoon at about 4 o'clock. I had come back, the narrator says here, I had come back from school and was in my home clothes. The man said to me, Soni, may I come inside your yard? Soni, the man called the narrator Soni and asked to come inside his yard. He was a small man, he was tidily dressed, spick and span, tidily dressed. He wore a hat, a white shirt and black trousers. That was his appearance. I asked, what do you want? He said, I want to watch your bees. We had 4 small gru palm trees and they were full of uninvited bees. I ran up, the narrator, I means here narrator, ran up the steps and shouted, Ma, it have a man outside here. He say he want to watch the bees. My mother came out. The narrator's mother came out, looked at the man and asked in an unfriendly way, not amiably, in an unfriendly way, what you want? The man said, I want to watch your bees. His English was so good. It didn't sound natural and I could see my mother was worried. She said to me, stay here and watch him while he watched the bees. Because The narrator's mother did not like that man. The man said, "Thank you, madam. You have done a good deed today. You have done a good job today, as you have allowed me to watch the bees." He spoke very slowly and very correctly, as though every word was costing him money. Though every word was very valuable, we watched the bees. We means the man who came and the narrator. We watched the bees, this man and I, for about an hour, squatting near the palm trees. Squatting, sitting on your heel. When you sit on your heel, it is called squatting near the palm trees. The man said, "I like watching bees." "Sony, do you like watching bees?" I said, "I not have the time." He said that he hasn't time. He shook his head sadly. He said, "That's what I do. I just watch. I can watch ants for days." Have you ever watched ants? And scorpions and centipedes and kangaroos have mound a pile. Kangaroos have mound a pile. You watch those? I shook my head. I said, "What you does do, mister?" He got up and said, "I am a poet." When narrator asked, "What do you do? What is your profession? What are you?" He got up and said, "I am a poet." I said, "A good poet?" He said, "The greatest in the world." The greatest in the world. "What your name, mister?" "B. Wordsworth," he said. "B. Wordsworth. B for Bill." "B for Bill?" the narrator asked. "B for black." "Black Wordsworth." "White Wordsworth was my brother. We share one heart. I can watch a small flower like the morning glory and cry." I said, "Why you does cry?" Why? You will know when you grow up. You are a poet too, you know. And when you are a poet, you can cry for everything. Means, he said that there is no value, no appreciation of any poet. It is not a worthy job. It is not worthful job, worthy job, appreciable, admirable job. I couldn't laugh. He said, "You like your mother?" She not beating me, then I like only. When she not beating me, when she does not beat me, then I like. He pulled out a printed sheet from his hip pocket and said, "Oh, on this paper is the greatest poem about mothers, and I'm going to sell it to you at a bargain price for 4 cents. I went inside and I said, "Ma, you want to buy a poetry for 4 cents? My mother said, "Tell that blasted man to howl his tail away from my yard." You hear? Blasted man used for when you are very annoyed with someone. Blasted. Used when you are very annoyed, very angry with someone. Tell that blasted man to howl his tail, to carry his tail away from my yard. Means tell him to go away from here immediately. I said to B. Wordsworth, my mother say she is not have 4 cents. She hasn't have any 4 cents. B. Wordsworth said, "It is the poet's tragedy." It is the poet's tragedy. No one purchases his poetry. No one likes. And he put the paper back in his pocket. He didn't seem to mind. I said, is a funny way to go around selling poetry like that. Only Calypsonians, Caribbean song, do that sort of thing. A lot of people does buy. He said, no one has yet bought a single copy. No one. But why you does keep on going around then? If no one purchases it, no one buys it, no one purchases it, why do you always roam here and there? Why do you keep on going around then? He said, in this way I watch many things and I always hope to meet poets. In this way I watch many things. When I go and make round here and there, then I watch many things and I always hope to meet poets. I said, you really think I is a poet? You are as good as me, he said. And when B. Wordsworth left, I prayed I would see him again. The narrator becomes his friend. About a week later, coming back from school, one afternoon I met him at the corner of Miguel Street. And what happens after that, we will study in my next video. Thank you so much, students.